That's pretty good. You thought it was good?
I called it when he said it's the mom pop feel hamburgers.
Well, he said that about the last one.
Right.
Oh, I got
on
it.
The Blackstone over there.
So we all have individual tastes, and when it comes to grilling, I feel like people have very specific, they love this, they hate that.
Religiously
You're doing
sometimes.
it wrong. Religiously sometimes, absolutely. But we wanted to see, does that really matter?
Yeah. Do different grills taste different, or can we tell? If we were blindfolded and did a taste test, could we even figure out which grill was which?
Okay, let's start off with the George Foreman. That's my personal grill. It's super cheap and affordable, which is kind of why I went down that path, combined with the fact I don't have to worry about gas. Getting gas,
Right.
finding gas,
Never gonna
running out
run
of gas.
Have guests
Exactly.
over, you're like, oh, I gotta run to a gas station.
Exactly. And it's portable because I can just take it anywhere, plug it in, and put it on a table, remove the stand. And my most favorite part, it's smart capable. I can tell Google to just turn on my grill, and it turns on my outlet. I have it set at medium. It's ready to go.
Yeah, and that's pretty cool. I would say it's fairly portable for sure because you can take it off that stand, kind of put it anywhere, but you do have to have an outlet, so it's not like you can go out in the boonies. Unless you're at like a campsite, you'll probably need something gas. There's also just the one cook surface. You don't have like an upper rack if you want to do kind of indirect, and there's like no storage on that thing. Like there's not even a shelf, so you'll go out with your plate of meat and have to maybe sit it on a chair, which is I think literally what you do.
Literally what I do, yeah.
And you're also just gonna get that one flavor. There's not like the added flame, or you can't do like specific flavored wood pellets like you could with a smoker. Conversely, with the Traeger, you've got like tons of storage space. You've got that shelf on the front where you can lay things. You've also got a really nice wooden shelf down below for tools, pellets, etc. And I really like that you can do different flavors if you want to change up what you're tasting. That's awesome. You can get really scientific kind of with it and really particular with the temp probes. If you want to get to a certain doneness, you really can. And what I personally like, because with my gas grill it's disgusting changing the grease, is that you can put this big grease bucket, it's very deep, and you're not going to have issues when you're trying to empty that of it spilling over onto your hands like it did on me yesterday.
It's true. But speaking of pellets, you do have to make sure you have pellets and you're stocked up on pellets.
Yes, you do.
So I'm glad there's a lot of storage because you might need a lot of pellets. And where do you store multiple flavors of pellets? You know, it starts becoming maybe a storage issue depending on how much you grill. Now everything comes with a price. Not only was this the most expensive grill we tested, and it's not even the biggest grill, right? But it also took the longest to make the burger. Now we did follow the internet's best recommendation of cooking it at 220.
To the T.
Took an hour and a half to make this burger, but we'll find out what we thought of it. Also, with the long warm-up time, it's a lot harder to get that sear option. Speaking of searing, the Blackstone is next, and it was the best at searing. I mean, it's just a nice, solid cook surface, so it's super easy to get that nice, crisp flavor on there. There's plenty of storage on the side and underneath for all your grilling utensils, which Blackstone even has their own branding of them.
And they're nice. I don't know if they're included or you have to buy them separately, but they were pretty good.
Also, if this is for a campsite, I mean, you can do bacon, eggs, and pancakes all on one cook surface. That's game changer for grilling.
And going back to that searing that we love, we actually noticed the burgers kind of sticking to the griddle. Now, my dad mentioned that he goes through quite a bit of oil, maybe trying to keep those from sticking. And I also know there's something to be said about having to season that cooking surface properly. That may be an extra step, maybe not as convenient to get going. And also, there's no cover or lid of any kind on this thing, and maybe you can buy something extra, at least for the storage, right? But we even had to wipe off a layer of dust before we get started. And you never know, maybe there's flies or worse getting on that, so something to think about. Now that CharBroil grill, that is my baby, and it's got some really good stuff. Of course, not every model is gonna be the same, but what I like about mine is it's got those 6 burners, one of those a sear burner if you really like it crispy. You've also got that exterior, like almost stovetop where I usually like fry things up if I don't wanna splatter all over the house. And so that's not really an option at all with maybe like the smoker, right? It's got a built-in thermometer. If you're into that, you can see what temperature it is inside of the grill. And what is great, maybe over the George Foreman, you've got a place to put your plate of meat. You've also got some storage underneath for utensils or what have you.
It's like a full closet in there.
It's bigger than my closet.
Yeah, you might have to pay rent for it. Speaking of rent, it's not cheap grill. Now you don't have to get all these options and the biggest grill out there for gas, right? It's ultimately just a gas grill option. But you do still have to buy that gas. Worry about the tank running out. Maybe you have to have spares. Not a huge deal, but something to think about. And I would say in our taste tests and everything, it's just kind of your do it all. If you want one to kind of do most of the jobs, I think this is probably the best all around, but not the best at almost anything. So now that we covered all the different grills, let's put it to the test. Blindfold, cook burgers, let's see what happens. Go ahead and go.
All right.
That's pretty good.
You thought it was good?
Go ahead.
All right, down the hatch.
Down the hatch. Let's hit it. Okay. Got some. Okay. Whenever you are ready, go ahead and hit that. So Dan, number one was your
number one.
least favorite.
Number one was my least favorite.
Okay, Alan.
It's hard to place. I really liked number one.
Bart.
I'd say I rank that probably number 2.
Okay.
I would say.
Number 2.
I think number 2 was my favorite. I thought there was more flavor to that one than any of the others.
So number 2 when I noticed like more of a structure to it, for sure. I don't know if I like the flavor as much though on that one.
You started to taste a little bit more of what I would say like a flame taste, or some lines in the meat. I think when you grill, and I think I know what grill it came off of. But, yeah.
Number 3, I think, had the most texture. I'm almost positive I know which one that came off of.
I liked that one. It did have a lot of texture.
The third one was probably my least favorite. I don't know if it was dried out more.
I feel like I liked the texture better on the third one. But the flavor was better, I feel like, on the last one.
I didn't like very much. I noticed it wasn't quite as hard as maybe the third one for sure. I didn't like it. It kind of had a different twinge to it, if that makes sense. A different twinge. That's a technical term here in the meat space.
The last one had like kind of an old school mom and pop burger joint feel. The texture, definitely an edge on it. Had decent moisture, but had a little bit of crisp to it, which I like, and I could taste that flavor throughout chewing it.
Okay, final guesses. Burger
Oh,
number
guesses?
1. Burger number 1 was the
Traeger?
Dude. Yeah, I think it was for
I
sure
think
the
it was
Traeger.
the
George
Foreman.
No, I instantly thought it. First thing when that went in my mouth, first thing was the Traeger.
Yep, Traeger.
So if number 1 wasn't the George Foreman, then I think number 2 was.
That's the one you said was your favorite.
Yeah, if that comes out to
Wow.
be true, I'm gonna feel bad.
Number 2 is probably the George Foreman.
Bart,
I think
number
that's
two?
I agree with that.
Yeah.
Okay, number 2 was the CharBroil.
Really?
Oh,
Okay.
interesting.
Twist on that one.
Okay, that one was
Okay.
my
Okay,
favorite.
so that means the end is really surprising.
Number 3.
Because 3 was like definitely
Three was the Blackstone.
Like certainly. What do you think?
Well, if 2 was that, then 3 had to be this.
Really?
I called it when he said it's the mom pop feel hamburgers. Mom pop feel, just a big old griddle.
Number 4 was the Blackstone.
So finally, I got to fulfill one of my childhood dreams of just eating a bunch of meat with my friends with a blindfold on. And it was a pretty hilarious experience because going in, I think all of us thought we knew what we were doing, and we were like so sure, like, oh, we're gonna be able to tell the difference.
Yeah, I agree. I thought everyone was going to be able to figure them out, and that's why I made sure people weren't going to talk about them as they were eating the burgers, because I think if they could talk, they would have shared ideas, they would have nailed it. But since they couldn't, it was almost hilarious just handing them the burgers. You could kind of see who was figuring it out and who wasn't. And then even the George Foreman, I think it's funny that everyone dissed it until they ate some burgers blindfolded, and it wasn't as bad as they thought.
So, final thoughts here. Which grill is going to be for which person? What do you think?
Yeah, so if you want that quick and easy grill, I think that at an affordable price and not a ton of features, get the George Foreman.
Right. But if you want that not very quick, but still somewhat easy, delicious, moist meat, then maybe you should go for the Traeger.
But if you want a campsite where you're cooking a lot of breakfast or pancakes, maybe it's not even a campsite, maybe it's your backyard, but you love to cook outside.
Oh, yeah.
Definitely get the Blackstone.
And if you just kind of want to dabble in maybe a little bit of everything, not the best at anything, but can really cover it all, go for just the normal CharBroil gas grill.
Let us know what you think down below. Which grill is the right one for you? In fact, my neighbor who we borrowed the Blackstone from said, that's why I have
like all
a
of them. He's
smoker
got all
and the
three.
gas grill and the Blackstone.
Now we
He's
just need to
missing-
get him on the George Foreman, right?
I told him he just needs a George Foreman now. So let us know which grill is right for you. Until next time, thanks for watching. See ya.